The day before this entry by Romeo, it was his birthday. Now, you'd think turning 18 would be something worth celebrating, but that's not what he wants. At least, not in a traditional sense. Welcome back to the 25th reading in the Wherefore Art Thou Journal series. If you're new here, every Thursday we explore selected passages from Romeo and Julian's private journals, the entries that were never meant for anyone else to read. Before we dive in, if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can follow the journey each week, and don't miss our Monday shorts where I share sneak previews and behind the scenes insights into the story. There's only one thing Romeo really wants for his birthday, and it's the one thing he can't have. So let's dive in and see if he gets it.
Saturday, April 29th, 2023, 10:51 p.m. Entry by Romeo. Normally, I prefer to dive right into writing my journal as soon as possible, but this time, it wasn't even an option. Why, you ask? One simple reason. Marcos. I remember being very clear about not wanting a birthday party. To his credit, Marcos respected that. Well, to a degree. He had already talked to my mom about it. When I walked out of school yesterday, he was there waiting for me. I had no idea he was coming, and immediately I was on edge. It's Marcos. He's unpredictable. All I could think about was how much I wanted to spend my birthday with Julian. We could have snuck away after his swim practice, and no one would have known. That's all I really wanted. A quiet night, just the two of us. But I guess there will be plenty of birthdays to celebrate together in the future. Also, happy birthday, Romeo. I didn't get a chance to write yesterday. Most people might throw a big party for their 18th birthday, but that's just not my style. Mom asked me and I told her I didn't want one. I know she suspects something is going on with me. We have this unspoken connection where we don't need to say everything out loud. When Marcos asked her, she gave in immediately. She probably knew I needed it better than I did. At first, I was convinced Marcos was planning a huge surprise party. But to my surprise, that wasn't the case at all. It was super chill. Well, mostly. When I first got to his house, it was eerily quiet, which immediately made me suspicious. I walked into the kitchen to find his family there, all yelling happy birthday at the same time. His mom had made this huge dinner, and it smelled amazing. I don't know how I didn't notice. As soon as we walked in, I guess I was too distracted by the silence. I couldn't help but smile. His sister gave me a big hug, and then everyone joined in. Marcos explained that he knew I didn't want a party, but he still wanted to celebrate in a way I'd be okay with. A quiet dinner and cake with his family. Deep down, all I could think about was how much I wished Julian could have been there. I later asked myself why I didn't just bring him. They would have welcomed him with open arms and absolutely loved him. He's Coco approved, after all. Marcos' mom went all out with the cooking. She must have spent the whole day in the kitchen because the food was incredible. A few of his cousins dropped by too. I think Marcos just wanted to make the gathering a little bigger. He considered inviting my mom and dad, but didn't. Mom told him that Dad wouldn't show up, and she was right, probably for the best. Just as we sat down for dinner, the front door motion buzzer went off. No one moved except Coco. From the sound of her excited pause, it was clear she recognized whoever had arrived. A moment later, Esca rounded the corner into the kitchen. Was it weird that I hoped JJ was with him? She wasn't, and it's not like we could have reached Julian. He doesn't have a phone. Esca came straight over to me, wished me a big happy birthday, and gave me a bro hug, which made both of us laugh. Marcos' mom was busy serving everyone, despite all of us insisting we could fix our own plates. She wasn't having it. She's always the best host. I thought the evening was just going to be dinner, but it turned out to be so much more. There were tons of laughs and stories shared, some of which embarrassed Marcos, of course. A few funny ones were at my expense, but I'm not writing those down. Don't need evidence of our past shenanigans. Notice the quotation marks. They still happen occasionally. After dinner, when I was very full, Marcos' mom wouldn't stop insisting I eat more. We all moved to the living room. She's like an Italian grandmother sometimes, thinking everyone is too skinny and needs to eat more. It felt like I was the guest of honor. Marcos sat me down on the couch and everyone gathered around. That's when his mom asked if I wanted to start with cake or presents. I wasn't expecting either, let alone gifts. I told them they didn't need to get me anything. The dinner was more than enough. Yeah, no, that's not how it works in Latino culture. It's happening no matter what. Thankfully, they didn't insist on cake first because I would have exploded. The first present was handed to me, and suddenly everyone's phones were out, ready to capture the moment. The gift was small but thick, and it felt like a book. Sure enough, it was a book, Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. I smiled when I saw the cover. The paper inside was unlike anything I'd ever felt. It was incredible. I was so distracted by it that I didn't even notice Marcos standing there with another present, waiting impatiently. The book was from his mom and dad. I made sure to thank them properly. His mom got a big hug, and his dad, who's not a hugger, got a solid handshake. Meanwhile, Marcos was practically bouncing with anticipation for me to open his gift. His gift was in a bigger box. Knowing Marcos, I assumed he'd wrap some random Amazon box just to mess with me. Thankfully, it wasn't a series of boxes inside boxes either. Marcos couldn't stand still, so I took my time opening it just to torture him. At one point, I even paused, and the look on his face was priceless. Esca started laughing, which earned him a quick death glare from Marcos. Finally, I opened it. Inside was a framed photo of Marcos and me from Christmas, taken during a trip on Esca's dad's boat. It was a fantastic shot. I held it up to show everyone. I could tell it meant a lot to Marcos, and honestly, I'm proud of our friendship. There were a few more presents, some of which were art supplies. Once the gifts were finished, Esca asked if he could talk to me. I figured he wanted to give me a present in private. It felt a bit odd as we walked down to the end of the hall. He had his phone out, handed it to me, and then shoved me into the bathroom before closing the door. I nearly dropped his phone in the toilet when I heard a voice say, "Hello?" Turning the phone around, the biggest smile took over my face. There on the screen were Julian and JJ. JJ quickly wished me a happy birthday and then disappeared, leaving Julian on the line. It turned out that Esca had given me the best birthday present anyone could have asked for, a FaceTime call with my boyfriend. The one person I wanted to see more than anyone else on my birthday. Seeing Julian's beautiful curls and that smile that lights up a room was everything. Of course, the first thing he asked was why I was in the bathroom. When I told him Esca shoved me in there, he started laughing. We didn't have much time. I knew they'd start revolting soon if we didn't get going with the cake. Julian wished me a happy birthday and said something to me that's just between us. No, it wasn't those 3 words, and it wasn't anything inappropriate. It was something heartfelt that left both of us tearing up a bit. I stayed in the bathroom for a few extra moments to let my eyes return to normal. When it was time to say bye, I didn't want to kiss Esca's phone screen, so Julian and I blew each other a kiss instead. We promised to see each other on Sunday. JJ and Esca had already worked out some kind of plan. Before hanging up, I asked Julian how his Friday swim went. He lit up with excitement as he described how much he needed it, especially since he was sad about not being able to spend my birthday with me. The swim helped him relax, and he was even more animated when he told me JJ had waited for him after practice to take him shopping for my birthday gift. He almost spilled the beans about what he got me, but caught himself just in time. He's so adorable when he gets like that. My heart felt warm. I missed him so much. Every moment we talk feels special and makes everything feel more normal. Now, I really can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh, Marcos, always the life of the party. But in this moment, we also get to see how much he really cares. He respects Romeo's wishes. No big, elaborate celebration. Just a small gathering with a few members of his family, and one very special virtual guest thanks to Esca and JJ. Romeo is really hurting here. Not being able to see Julian on his birthday, that's not something you just brush off. Yeah, he lets himself imagine it. What it would be like just to take off, meet Julian after his Friday swim, and disappear for a while. But the risk is too high. It always is. Not being able to spend your birthday the way you want, with the person you love, the way you should be able to, that kind of thing stays with you. This entry is actually one of his longer ones, and we're only seeing a portion of it here. Because the truth is, he probably could have brought Julian to Marcos's house, and Marcos' family likely would have welcomed him without hesitation. But again, the risk. It's always there, even when trust is. And then there's Esca. That small gesture, sharing his phone so Julian can be there, even just for a moment. It means everything, because it reminds Romeo of something important. There is love and support in his life, just not from where it should be. If you're enjoying these readings, take a second to like the video. It really helps more people discover Romeo and Julian's story. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss the next entry in Wherefore Art Thou Journals Volume 1. New readings every Thursday with shorts every Monday. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Romeo should have taken the risk and seen Julian anyway? Or was he right to play it safe, even on his 18th birthday? Let's talk about it. And if you want the full story, including everything I don't read here, you can order Wherefore Art Thou Journals Volume 1 through the links in the description or at romeoandjulian.com. Until next Thursday, keep your heart open, your journal close, and your story unfolding.